Good evening or afternoon, wherever you be watching this. Welcome to Steve's Wrestling Ramble. Tonight, a special episode. Usually, I do have my live episodes on Tuesdays during a work week, but this week with predictions and with other obligations during the week. Uh, me being a busy guy, I I'm doing it here Thursday night, talking WWE Royal Rumble. Last night, me, Emmy, Cooter, Kelowna, and the gang on main event marks gave our predictions there. We're doing prediction battle on that channel, on that show. Definitely check out that content, their content, our content. Just search YouTube main event marks. Check out the Facebook fan group, facebook.com/main event marks. Also, facebook.com/group/pro wrestling marks. And before I move on, let's welcome mi amigo Me. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm I'm doing all right. Kind of worn out, been a long week, but gotta keep going.
Sweet.
So I guess with all those plugs out of the way, uh, what are your overall expectations and thoughts heading into this Royal Rumble pay per view?
My hope is that it doesn't suck. That's really my expectation. Just keeping it there, keeping them low, and the only thing I want to make sure is that they make it they make it as believable as possible of the outcome. So last thing we need is for someone who shouldn't be winning it. Uh, if someone makes a mistake and botches the botches the clothesline over the top rope, last thing we need. And then the other thing would be if Roman Reigns beats everybody, because then booking wise, how can he possibly lose unless he gets cheated? So I don't know. That's just where I am with it. The other matches though, I think it's going to be a really good card, especially if they give not Sasha Banks, Lord, Charlotte and Becky Lynch more than if they give them 15 minutes to do a match. I think they'll be very impressed with what they can put on and the story that they can tell. Because Becky Lynch is no slouch in the ring. I've seen her wrestle before, and I've seen Charlotte wrestle before. I believe both of them can put on a real good match. I didn't know if you was going match by match or you just wanted me to talk about just the Rumble match itself.
Not just the pay per view overall, so that does include everything. I will be going match by match for my own predictions for the show, but I mean, if you want, you can talk about whatever you're looking forward to, not looking forward to for the whole pay per view in general.
Okay. I'm looking. I think the one of the biggest thing because I guess because of the way they booked him initially, I think I'm really interested to see what Kevin Owens is going to do in his match with Dean Ambrose. Um, just the style. I mean, with them having their history in Ring of Honor and other indie promotions, I think if they allow them to go to the level that I think they can go to in the Last Man Standing match, I think that will be the best match of the night. That's the one I'm looking forward to. I want to see if they're going to say, okay, y'all can go ahead and do whatever it is that you want. You can do all the spots that you want. Just make sure that no one gets injured. We don't need any more people on the shelf. So make sure you do spots that you know are safe and know that will pretty much, result in it'll look impactful, even though it's not going to hurt you that much. So that's why that's my hope, and I think that's going to be the best match of the night.
Right, and with the match, with the match type being a last man standing match, most of the WWE universe automatically assume that it's going to be a great match, because it's last man standing. Those kind of matches usually deliver A plus material, but as we always say, it takes two to tango in a match, not just one person carrying. I think when you have Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe character, and Kevin Owens, almost a lunatic fringe in himself with that character, um, those two going at it, just amps it up, and I think even makes it a better match, at least for me anticipating it. Just you don't, yeah, I don't, you don't want those guys getting injured, not with the amount of people that you already have on the injury list, and especially those two where you have big plans for them in however ways. Dean Ambrose is the Intercontinental Champion. You got Kevin Owens, someone that to most people is their personal odds-on favorite to win the Royal Rumble match, let alone this Intercontinental Championship match. So, if you lose either of those two, you're kind of in a mess, heading starting the road to WrestleMania. If they're trying to give it all, and they're doing these spots, and they just do something too often, like they go to the well again or do something that was working earlier, and then this time it gets them injured. You don't want a situation like that. And then for the Rumble, what I don't want to see, what anybody doesn't want to see, is someone accidentally getting eliminated when that is not the spot in the match. When they're not supposed to be getting eliminated, whether they're not going to be winning the Rumble itself, but that's not their time, in the flow of the match. That can mess everything up, no matter who it is. No
Mm-hmm.
matter, like I said, no matter if it's supposed to be the person that's booked to win it, or even the person that's supposed to be one of the next people eliminated, but not, what I mean? It can still screw things up. So I want everything to flow and work. And before I give my predictions, I want to make sure that people know that, I care and I don't care if I get them right. All I want for this Royal Rumble pay-per-view is to be good, is to be entertaining, and for the Royal Rumble match not to be a mess, not to have it be Roman Reigns going through 29 other men and surviving and retaining his title. And that's not me hating on Roman Reigns. That's just me hating on WWE creative booking that to be the finish. Because Roman Reigns' character I actually like, and the person I like. It's just how things have gone. He's already been over. As we talked about, main event marks. He's already been over. Why do it overkill and get him over by having him win this Royal Rumble match from number number one?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that on Roman Reigns? Like, if the likelihood you think that he they might actually book him to win.
Well, I think it's one of those things, and you know how I talked to you about how I think Cena's been booked and things like that in that history. I think it's one of those things where they still think that a large segment of fans don't believe in Roman Reigns, even though that's his catchphrase. And so I guess what they feel like they need to do is just overwhelmingly give him all these against the odds type matches. The only thing about it is that it's not realistic from the standpoint of how Roman Reigns is built. When you took a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk, they look like average Joe guys, average sizes. CM Punk wasn't necessarily cut real, from the same cloth. His look was different. Daniel Bryan's look was different, and people was drawn to that because they felt more akin to what they were offering. I don't feel akin to what Roman Reigns is offering. The pretty boy star football player who has a privileged family background in this particular case, a business. And people who actually know that and know that background was like, what real struggles did you really have? Okay, you had stuff in your particular area, but did you actually struggle? Did you have to go through the same stuff that Daniel Bryan had to go through, this that CM Punk had to go through? How was your ground up training? And people who really, really study this know that Roman Reigns didn't have to go through nearly half as much as they did from a working standpoint. He had to go through a whole lot because he had a name to live up to. That's what his struggle is. He has a name and a family history to live up to, which is hard to an extent. But I don't think it's as hard as it may be actually a little bit harder mentally than the physical grind of actually coming from the bottom up, from high school gyms, from your backyard, and from things like CZW where they just do all kinds of crazy things to people's bodies, to getting to ROH and to getting to WWE in that fashion. So it's kind of hard to book an underdog character in an unbelievable way. This is why, remember I told you about Cena. This is why people didn't like Cena, because they didn't think that there was a genuine type of booking behind him, and they didn't think that he was a genuine type of person. And so, like, if it's disingenuous, people pick up on that very fast. Casual fans as well as hardcore wrestling fans, especially the hardcore wrestling fans, will pick up on it.
Oh yeah, the IWC, YWC Smarks, all of them pick up on it, and they smell, they smell what WWE is cooking, in when they know that someone's gonna be shoved down their throat. They knew it early on. They knew it already before last year's Royal Rumble that he was gonna win it. He was the odds-on favorite. When they booed and everything that they did after that event. Um, but this Royal Rumble, I don't think would be best for uh, for that to happen. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I'd hate it. I just don't think that'd be the best option. I mean, you have a Royal Rumble with a twist. You have the title on the line. This is a great opportunity to book one, if not the best, one of the best Royal Rumble matches in WWE history.
Mm-hmm.
And to me personally, and in my opinion, I think you'd be doing a great disservice to your fan base, to the WWE universe, if you, in the end, book it with Roman Reigns going through 29 other men. And I'm going to say it already. My prediction is Roman Reigns because I just have a feeling that's where they're going to go. But I'm hoping otherwise, and I'm looking forward in excitement and anticipation to watch the Rumble. Heck, I was able to, excuse me, two of my friends, former WWE fans, um, one of them, the last time he watched, I believe was 2002, and the other one, the year 2000. So it's been a while, and I was able to at least convince them to get a free month on the WWE Network to watch this Royal Rumble because of that fact, because of the twist of the title being on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE, Triple H, Paul, Triple H Levesque, Stephanie McMahon, Vince, if you're watching, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up for people like my friends or anybody else's friends or people that are just there in parties or whatever that are watching with a WWE fan, whether hardcore or general, that you know um, have a twist outcome. And it's not just the surprises that I want to be awesome and good for them to enjoy, but the finish. Like I said, I don't want it to be Roman Reigns. And again, that's not because I don't like him. That's just because it's just too easy and lazy a booking to do it
Yeah,
that way.
that's exactly correct. And that word has been akin to what WWE creative has been doing in the advent of people like Cesaro and John Cena and Seth Rollins and Tyson Kidd and all their marquee guys that can actually bring something to the table have been out because of injuries. And same thing with Sasha Banks. So why not go ahead and use your God-given brain to think of something that's better than, okay, look, we're going to put Roman Reigns in this against the all odds type thing, and he's going to win. That is totally lazy. It's irresponsible too as a business because you know that one of the things that keep your business going is twist factor, keeping people guessing. Because I have to disagree with you. I don't believe there's no such thing as an IWC. I think that's died off and gone because everyone's on the internet now, including the WWE network. So to call anyone IWC, in my opinion, from what I've been understanding, will be, it's I think that's a cop out because now there are I would say you can call them dirt sheet communities because that's all they really care about is what the dirt sheet says. So you can say dirt sheet communities. I will agree with something like that. But everything's on the internet. So I will have to disagree with you on that point. But I will agree with you that Roman Reigns shouldn't win. And it's not because I don't like him. I like him way better. I think he has a lot more to offer, a higher ceiling, athletic. He can actually evolve with more moves, regardless of what WWE, excuse me, regardless of whatever WWE 2K game comes out. I think he can evolve and give us a variety of moves. And that he has that ability. And his mic skills, well, his mic skills are coming along. It's way better than what it was last year. But I think he's one of those ones that still needs a mouthpiece. And continuity wise, and to constantly build your star, he needs to lose in a fashion that is befitting of a person who's going to be getting the title again, another shot again, but you have to give him the chase. I mean, you remember how everyone reacted when he won and Daniel Bryan didn't? What's the first thing WWE immediately went to do? They said, okay, let's legitimize the guy that we want in WrestleMania by having him beat Daniel Bryan. That wouldn't have happened had they just gave people Daniel Bryan. Now granted, if Daniel Bryan was to go against Brock Lesnar, he would have got murdered. And we all know he would have got murdered. But it would have been what the people wanted, him to get murdered against Brock Lesnar, because at least he had the chance. No, that's crap. I'm a Daniel Bryan fan, but I don't want to send no lambs to the slaughter. Um, Roman Reigns was better built for that match with Brock Lesnar than Daniel Bryan was. Um, so that's pretty much where I am on that. Um, I would need we need somebody else. We need somebody else to have that title, and I'm perfectly fine. With I'm perfectly fine with Kevin Owens being a dual champ, just like Seth Rollins was, because he's a good enough of a heel. He actually not good enough. He's a great heel. In fact, if WWE wanted to make him and Bray Wyatt rotating top heels, they could easily do it because those two can carry, they can carry any feud that they're a part of by themselves if they need to. Bray Wyatt carried a whole feud against the Undertaker without Undertaker even being there for 6 months. So I mean, what 4 months? Excuse me. And Kevin Owens can create a feud just because he doesn't like you. So I mean, these guys have those two guys have the ability. Sheamus is only a heel because they said he's a heel. I mean, he doesn't really. I mean, everything that he, even when he was a face, he did heelish type things. So I was like, he's just more of a corny, weird looking Viking, Irish Celt things, weird. So,
Everybody's thinking that it's just, that it's down to one of three: Triple H, Roman Reigns, or the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I think, I think the field's a lot more wide open, in my opinion. And like I said before, the high anticipation of most WWE fans of this Royal Rumble is that way because of the twist and also because it's the Royal Rumble match. Technically, yeah, anything goes, And if you really want to stand by that moniker, have someone maybe out of the blue win the match. Well,
mm-hmm.
and win the title. Now, I'm not saying craziness like a social outcast member winning the title, but
No, man, they can't
but,
do that.
but still some kind of sort. Maybe you have a surprise entrant. You have AJ Styles coming to the Royal Rumble and he wins the Rumble.
That'd be nice.
So, a twist like that would suffice. A twist like Randy Orton coming back winning the title. He's one of, in my opinion, he's the best heel in WWE history. So, um,
Best heel in WWE's history.
yeah, to me, above.
I mean, well, no, I think you can make a legitimate argument for that. He's just one of those things with Randy Orton where it's like he's such a good because I guess it's just because of the way we've grown over the time, where now it's cool to like the heel and it's cool to hate the face. So now they've actually switched roles where if you're the bad guy, you're actually the good guy. And if you're the good guy, you're actually the bad guy. We don't want you to win. You're always winning. You're a good guy. And that could be any character. And I know that sounds like a basic Cena reference now. It could be any character. It could be Roman Reigns. It could be Sheamus when he was Super Sheamus. It could be Alberto Del Rio when he was Super Alberto Del Rio. And they were booking all these guys as good guys. And it was cool to hate the good guy. And it was cool to love the bad guy. And Randy Orton is just he's too cool and smooth, man. People think he's overrated in the ring, and I have to slap folks when they say that. I was like, you're out of your mind. He's one of the smoothest workers. I mean, the way he transitions between moves, even when he doesn't care and he mails it in, and he doesn't even feel like being in the match because he already knows WWE is not booking him correctly anyway. He'll still deliver a great match when he doesn't even care. So, I mean, one person, I'm surprised they need to be pushing Stardust because he has the ability to do so. I mean, how many different gimmicks did they give this guy? He's made them work.
Each and every one of them.
Legacy, what? Main one was first one was that Legacy.
Hmm.
After he broke off from Legacy, he was just his own self, and then he went to Mr. Mustache Dashing, or with his list Dathing, Cody Rhodes and stuff. Had the mask gimmick going on where he had to use the mask, and um, he did the stuff with Goldust, his brother, then decided to go ahead and transition to Stardust. Every last stupid gimmick they gave him, every last way they made him do his style of match, he has made it work. And for him not to have an Intercontinental title again or a U.S. Championship run is beyond me. Like that's that he should be one of your key people of a gatekeeper to get to the next level of championship. He should be one. Titles O'Neil is way too old, but he should have had a single championship by now. I mean, he's not necessarily the best in-ring worker, but he's a big brute guy that should have a title for being big and brute. Um, a singles title, tag title. Darren Young is not a singles guy to me, but tag is whatever. Damian Sandow should have won that championship against Cena. You know it. I think we all know that when he cashed in, he's supposed to have won that. And even if he only had it for a week, it would have been correct. It would have been the correct decision because you can't kill a character like him who isn't developed. John Cena losing the Money in the Bank, a Money in the Bank cash in was fine because he's John Cena. He's still going to be the number one guy. He can survive that. He can absorb that. That's logical. Damian Sandow's career died ever since then. And he could have been one of the best heels in the company as one of the younger guys. So, I mean, yeah, if Randy Orton comes back, that'll be a nice win. And that'll be another quality heel for Roman Reigns to go against, but he's beaten Randy Orton. So I like what we talked about on main event marks the other night though. Triple H comes in and let's just say he's not even worried about winning. He just comes in, everyone holds Roman Reigns, hits him with the sledgehammer, and knocks him over. I like that. But I tell you what, even though I don't believe Roman Reigns can win in that one, he shouldn't. It's not believable. It's more believable for me for Brock Lesnar to win in that number two. It's way more believable for me to, that Brock Lesnar will beat just because he'll just go in as like, oh, hello everybody, suplex throw you, Kimura lock you, then suplex you, and then throw you. I like it. Just makes sense
Hmm.
since and it will have to be people have to gang up on him for him to even do anything. So, yep, a lot of people, man, they got a lot of roster stuff that they could have done, man. Social Outcast could be the faction that goes against New Day because they both just stupid acting folks, and they'll just be, I mean, and for
You
crying
don't.
out loud, our truth is like 50 years old. He is 50, and like, I mean, he's wrestling better than some of the guys who's on the roster in their 20s. It's ridiculous.
Well, just think of the promos cut between each other if you had the New Day and Social Outcasts in a promo segment on Raw or SmackDown. That'd be high entertainment there.
Oh, I mean, crying out loud, man. Just I can just imagine. I mean, and think about it like this: another guy who hasn't had a championship run, who needs one, I think is deserving of one. How many different factions have the WWE trusted Heath Slater with?
Yeah, well,
I know Social Outcast, 3MB, and there was another couple beforehand, and and he was
Panther and
something like that. Yeah, but like,
Panther's one
I
of the
mean,
others.
how in the world he been trusted with so many factions and doesn't have a title of anything of any kind, tag or singles otherwise?
I mean, Zack Ryder had that internet title, and then he got the U.S. title. So you think Heath Slater would have been able to get some kind
Yeah.
of triple singles push to?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had more time. Is it okay with you, sir, as the host of your show? May I give you my. You're doing predictions on the matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
May I give you my predictions on the matches? And because I have to bounce out, and I apologize for that. I didn't mean to cut myself short, but I realized what time it was. I gotta cut. I gotta go. May I give you my predictions?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, if I remember correctly, the pre-show was a fatal four-way to get into the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That was Dudley's, Damian Sandow, and what's his face,
Darren Young,
Darren Young, the Ascension, and who else?
Mark Henry, and Jack Swagger.
Yeah, I'm going straight up. That's Dudley's because they're not going to put unknowns and they're not going to put people who are has-beens, never was. They're going to put the big name in there, so it's going to be Dudley's. The opening match of the night is who again?
I'm gonna assume it will be the Divas Championship. Charlotte champion versus Becky Lynch.
Cool. If they give them a solid 15 minutes, then it's going to be Charlotte. I think Charlotte's going to win, and I think they may book it in a way where she does it without Ric Flair's help, just to prove a point.
I hope
So
so.
the next match is the U.S. Championship match or the Intercontinental Championship match.
I'll go with the U.S. Championship match: Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto.
Good, that's smart because if they go with if they go with the, they got to have the fall counts anywhere match, um, like them because the crowd's gonna be over crazy by the time the Royal Rumble match starts. um, let's see. I think yesterday I said Kalisto, didn't I? No, I said Alberto Del Rio, didn't I? Where
I
was it? Did I say Alberto Del Rio yesterday? I think I did. I think I said Del Rio yesterday. Yeah, I think I remember. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to make sure I'm
yeah,
consistent.
too.
Yeah, I think Alberto Del Rio because of because they
Oh,
took the title.
you,
Huh?
I, I think your reasoning just last night was Alberto Del Rio, because with Del Rio you could see more happening with him as the champion. Kalisto, you were trying to think of who would Kalisto face as champion. Who would he
That's
feud
right.
with?
Yeah, Kalisto doesn't have a history of anybody. The only thing you'll be able to really do with him is to do a feud. The main feud that he'll have is the jealousy feud with Sin Cara, which I mean, whatever with that one. IC championship match. I personally would like to see Kevin Owens going over for my own little dream of him being, him giving fat guys hope of him being the WWE heel champ and the heel Intercontinental champion at the same time, making both times where ROH guys or indie wrestler guys, not homegrown WWE guys, but indie guys, being dual champions in WWE, which would be like you'll just sit here and be like, well, why they haven't given such and so or these guys that because they're better. That's all you need to know. And they've really worked hard for their craft and they deserve those kind of opportunities. So Kevin Owens going over in that. And I agree with Cooter last night that surprise would be Triple H coming in at number 30, throwing Reigns over the top rope because Reigns may last him to that point, setting up the story, him against the Authority again at WrestleMania. That also opens up our chance for Brock Lesnar and The Rock, which a lot of people want to talk about as a match,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives a rub for Undertaker to go out on his back against, like Cologne was saying, like a Kevin Owens or someone who's more deserving or who needs the ability to beat Undertaker at Mania. That's not Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar didn't really need it. So,
Okay, the last one being the tag team title match, the Usos
oh,
versus
that's
the New
right.
Day.
Oh Lord, I want to. I hope the New Day wins. I hope the New Day wins. Just please win. Keep on trolling. Keep on allowing them to troll. And my wife thinks they act very effeminate. My wife thinks they act very effeminate. They have unicorns and all the color blues and stuff. I think that they took a horrible gimmick and got themselves over with. So I want to continue that. I want them to continue that trend, and hopefully they'll stop having 15 matches with the same tag teams. I want the social outcasts in that tag team mix. They need to bring up at least one or two teams from there. They need to actually make the ascension, or excuse me, uh, the demolition warriors of the Illuminati, the demolition warriors of the Illuminati, because that's how they made them up.
Mhm.
I want them to actually be taken seriously and just book them in matches. Make sure they, give them the yahs. That's what they were all in NXT anyway. They were yah, you're high low, and that's it. Even if the crowds don't like them, they're gonna grow and hate them. The reason why John Cena is so good at being the top guy is because he's being pushed. He's pushed as the Dallas Cowboys and NFL are. People love to hate him, and love to watch them lose. That's why people who hate John Cena still watch WWE. People who truly hate John Cena and truly hate what the WWE is doing don't watch anymore. But those of us who still value the WWE watch it because we hate that guy. Just like they go watch it because they hate Roman Reigns and they want to see him lose. So,
Yeah, you could
uh,
say that with the Dallas Cowboys or the New England Patriots. Either way, that works.
yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, well, most definitely in New England Patriots bastards anyway. Um, people, but I guarantee you, sir, no one will ever say that about the Green Bay Packers ever. No one will ever say that about the Green Bay Packers. They'll never hate. The only people that hate Green Bay are Bears fans, Bears and Viking fans, because they're in the division. That's it. So outside of Bears and Vikings fans, everybody else respects Green Bay. So
Yeah, well, thanks though for taking time out of your day to stop by. Maybe you'll be able to stop by as I do my back-to-back shows tonight. I'll be doing the Talking Packers with Steve, and if I don't talk to you then, I'll talk to you in the future.
yes, sir. Always good, and always love your professionalism. Always love what you bring to the table, sir. You have a good night.
You too, sir. But that was nice for him to stop by. You're welcome to follow him on Twitter and check him out on Main Event Marks along with me and the cast of thousands, cast of four people. I don't know, but highly entertaining fun. Just guys that are marks that are WB fans, of course, and just talking about the business they love. So definitely check them out. And like I said, follow me uh, on the Twitter or the Twitter machine, or just simply Twitter itself um, at me Richmond. No, they're on Twitter. For me moving forward, and I forgot to do it because I said if anybody from Main Event Marks or anybody that joined that is part of my Royal Rumble pool that I am doing for my own show here, um, I would let them know ahead of time what their number is. But since he had to go, I kind of had to let him go, so I couldn't tell him here what his number is. But I will be tweeting those out between 1 and 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. I have 180 tweets to send out, so I'll be doing it between 1 and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let everybody know where and what number you're situated in. We have 6 lines or 6 pools, or well, not 6 pools, but 6 lines. same numbers. And if you win, you the winner for my show here, you get to pick excuse me, pick topics for me for a whole calendar year, all the way until that bell rings and the ring announcers and the ring announcers talking about the rules of the Royal Rumble for 2017. That's when that ends. Just like my 2015 winner, Twitter handle at We Love D'Ambrose for Dean Ambrose. Um, she still can technically give me subjects that she wants me to do on in a video from her YouTube channel up until the bell rings and Lillian Garcia or somebody, the ring announcer, is stating the rules for this year's Rumble 2016. So that's how it works. Also, an added twist to the prize is you get an invitation to be on any episode of Steve's Wrestling Ramble or Talking Package with Steve. So if you are solely a WB fan, uh, you're welcome to jump on an episode here with me, talk wrestling, whether it's the aftermath episode, as in the results and review of the Royal Rumble, or an episode moving forward, any episode, and any number of time, unlimited for a year. You just let me know at least an hour ahead of time before said episode that you want to join, and I can make it happen, send you the link, and all that other stuff as well. So those are the prizes for my Royal Rumble pool of 180 people this year. So I have those tweets to send out in the afternoon, and good luck. And to those who win, look forward to talking with you because as I am my own show here trying to grow, you share someone with the prizes for those things. So I definitely do have my friends from Intimate Marks part of it, and of course many others. We're going to the 2060 Royal Rumble pay per view. I'm highly looking forward to it. Me personally, I always look forward to the Royal Rumble. It's always one of my favorite pay per views because of the Royal Rumble match. I believe the number one match in all of the pay per views has to offer as a main event. Period. It's highly anticipated. You never know who's going to be entering and what number. Maybe you might know of like a select few that are could be booked to win the match, but still just watching the entrances, all 30 superstars coming in, surprise entrance, sometimes even out of nowhere entrances. We've had some great Royal Rumbles in the past, in its past illustrious history. So, I always look forward to the Rumble, and this year with the twist of the title being on the line, even more so, even more so. So just, WWE, take my advice. I'm sure the advice of other people, other podcasters, or just WWE fans talking on the Twitter machine, talking on Twitter. Take our advice. Don't screw it up. Don't, in our opinion, mess it up by going the simple way, the easy way, the lazy booking way, whatever adjective you want to use. But don't do that, and don't have this end with Roman Reigns successfully defending the title. That's that'd be pure madness in a way, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. And again, like I said, when I mean was here, it's not that I don't like the guy as a character or a person. I think he's awesome. But in this situation for the Rumble, with this twist and with cast of characters that you can have in the Royal Rumble match, have this Royal Rumble stacked to the core. The situations, the outcomes. There's so many that you can't even count of not just who can win, but of how the finish of the match could be. We could have a situation like in the Rumble past where there was a controversy with The Rock and Big Show, whose feet touched first, and then they had a number one contenders match the next pay-per-view. Now this is different because the title's on the line, but you can still make it work. Now, I think you could have made that situation work more if the title was vacated than the title being on the line, in my opinion, especially if Roman Reigns is not involved in that said finish. But either way, that can happen. You can have Triple H be the one to win, be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns as champion, be number 30. surprise entrant there. There's so many possibilities. So each and every time, counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, so forth. Each time, entry number 2 to entry number 30, I'm gonna be, obviously watching intently. Because you never know who the next one could be. It could be Daniel Bryan returning. I was hearing news. Something I want to talk about here as well. Updated news on Daniel Bryan and if he will be back in WWE or back wrestling at all. And last that I heard, that I was informed of, is that Daniel Bryan has been at least cleared for trial just at UCLA, but still not technically cleared by the WWE doctor, that WWE doctor himself, Dr. Maroon. So if Dr. Maroon doesn't clear him, it doesn't matter how many people already cleared him to wrestle, to compete, to do anything, because that's the final say. That is the only voice that matters in this situation. If he doesn't clear him, if WWE doesn't want him to clear Daniel Bryan, then that is not going to happen. Which is unfortunate, but it's what can happen. It'd be nice to see Daniel Bryan in the Rumble. Part of me thinks even if he's good to go, he shouldn't be in the Rumble. I still go on to thinking that in the end game, the result will be him retiring. We'll see. But even if he's okay to clear WWE in competition again in WWE as a wrestler, performer, he shouldn't be in this Rumble. And I'm not saying that because of he's him screwing up WWE's plans for Roman Reigns. I think it's just him screwing up plans period for the Royal Rumble itself. If you have Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble as a special entrant in this year's Rumble, being with the added twist of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line, and he doesn't win, it's not going to be a pretty picture for WWE. At least from fan response reaction that way. To them, they could care less. They're WWE. They want to do something, they're going to do it. And in some ways, I respect that. You gotta think what you think is best for your business, best for your company, best for business. It's not just an authority catchphrase. I guess it's true. I think it would be best for business for Daniel Bryan to retire. Best for business for Daniel Bryan, his family, Pro Wrestling Entertainment. It would be best for everybody involved. I think Daniel Bryan right now, at least from what I've seen, then again, it's from Total Divas, and you can't, with reality TV shows, not everything is, or barely anything is reality, but even though it still is a good show. From what I've seen from Daniel Bryan there, he's stubborn. Sometimes a little bit too stubborn. It's all, he loves wrestling, and I respect that, but at some point you gotta look yourself in the mirror and you actually have to think logically. You actually have to think that, you getting injured first time after winning the title at WrestleMania 30, after having your moment, after grabbing that imaginary brass ring, yada yada, you get injured, you're out for a very long time. Then you come back around this time last year, and before the Royal Rumble, say that you're going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then what happens? You're in the Royal Rumble, you're out, boom. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, and then you get injured after winning the title, the IC title, at WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara, California. So, and now we just don't know. So you don't want to have yourself, you don't want to go back into competition just to do it, just being stubborn. You have to think of the future. You have to think of your life. You have your whole life ahead of you, sir. Mr. Danielson. You are WWE superstar Daniel Bryan. But beyond all that, you're still a man. You're still Bryan Danielson. And you have your wife and your future to think about. And maybe, just maybe, you'll come to the realization that it might be best for you to do anything, no matter how hard it'll be. I get the spirit of competition, wanting to be in there. wanting to wrestle, doing something that you love to do, just like with me here in my hosting my podcast and being part of main event marks. Okay, so if a situation arose where all that had to be taken away from me, I wouldn't like it, and I wouldn't go away quietly either. So I respect that, sir. But in your situation, obviously a lot more serious than it would be mine if that ever arose. You truly have your life to think about because you don't want to come back, get injured again, and get to the point of either paralyzation or you know what. So that's why I think it'll be, get to the point where he will have to retire. But we'll see. If he's back, he's back. And obviously, as a fan, I would welcome him back with open arms. But I'm just saying, as of this point, that's how I feel. That's my opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. That's different, but we'll just see. We'll just see what happens to Dan Bryan. Now, for me, I'm gonna quickly go over my predictions because there's a couple other things I want to talk about. For me, for the pre-show match, I have the Dudley Boys. I have the Ambrose successfully defending his title. I have Kalisto become the new United States champion. Charlotte successfully defending her Divas Championship. The New Day successfully defending their Tag Team Championship. That makes sense. You're gonna have most of them successfully defending. Where is going to be that one? There's going to be a new champion. You should have that one to pay per view. So I think it's going to be Kalisto becoming a new champion, the new United States champion. As I said already, for the Royal Rumble match itself, going with Roman Reigns. To get that job done, to go through joining another man, successfully defend that title. That might not be what I want. That's what I just think is going to happen. That's the way I think it's going to be booked in. And we'll see how it goes. Whether I'm right, whether I'm not right in these predictions, I'm still highly looking forward to the Royal Rumble. If you are, leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and definitely check out other episodes of mine and other episodes of Main Event Marks. The other thing regarding WWE I have to talk about is with the Bullet Club and them coming to WWE or might be coming to WWE. All these teases, all these continuous news about them. That's great. It's good that there could be coming to WWE, but we might have to slow roll a little bit because when they get to WWE, you never know how they're going to be booked. They could be great in NXT, but when they get to the main roster, things just might be different. There might be a different character, they might have a different name, there might be anything and everything separate and different entirely from what they were in New Japan Pro Wrestling as a Bullet Club. Interesting Nakamura and AJ Styles. But we'll have to see. I don't know. I just think that it's changed, and we have to see how they do when they get into WWE, and hopefully things will work out in that way. But I think that'll do it for me for this episode. Like I said, I'll be tweeting out to everybody on Sunday afternoon between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. Central Time of your numbers in the Royal Rumble pool. So look for that on Twitter at WB_podcast. Welcome to follow there and enjoy your weekend, WWE. Also, I'll be back maybe in 20 minutes, maybe at the top of the hour for Talking Packers with Steve, where I'll be um, going over the Packer game against Arizona and looking forward to into the AFC and NFC Championship game and all that involves there. Because that definitely should be a good game. Not too much else in the WWE news front to to really expound upon that I need to right talk to Emmy about. But I guess I should give my predictions or my thoughts on who could be a surprise entrant. Last night at main event marks, Mike Malone went over a handful of names that he had, and we all thought, said what we thought of it being likely or not likely. That was awesome. For me here, I'm just going to share since I'm a one-man band myself here on this show. I'm just going to throw up some names, just in general, who I think, uh, who I would really mark out for, who I really would want to be a surprise entrant in the 2016 Royal Rumble match, whether it's a possibility of them happening or not a possibility at all because of contracts or whatever. In this kind of thinking, it doesn't matter. It's just what I would want in a, I guess, dream scenario for me to see these superstars in the Royal Rumble. Excuse me. Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle would be my number one that I would want to see in the Royal Rumble as a special entrant. If he was to be a special entrant, I see him coming in at like number 24. And you can have a little interaction of Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. Remember the history that they had back in the day, back when Brock Lesnar was at his peak? Brock Lesnar was the next big thing. Kurt Angle at his best. Kurt Angle being Kurt Angle, being awesome. So Kurt Angle would be awesome to see. The coach, Jonathan Coachman from ESPN. And now I know this is highly unlikely, but again, just dream scenario situation of mine. I would love to see the coach come back to WWE and actually be in the Royal Rumble match as a special entrant out of nowhere. We'll see. Vader, if reports are correct, and hopefully they are, if he goes into the Hall of Fame, we want to see Vader. Gangrel. Gangrel, someone that I would do hope goes into the WWE Hall of Fame at some point. Would love to see him. Special entrant. DDP, do it another year. Second year in a row, technically, being a special entrant, but still, that would be awesome. Shane McMahon. Now that would be the surprise of surprises. If Shane McMahon was a special entrant in the Royal Rumble. Come on now, that's for dang true. I mean, I people would love that. But we'll see on that one. The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, Kane. All those would be great ones to have as special entrants. I guess we're just gonna have to see how things go. But again, thanks to everybody watching. I will be doing my NFL podcast soon in the future, as in tonight, probably at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock Central. So I guess it's a little snack break, bathroom break, whatever you want to call it, for everybody involved, the audience and me. And then I'll be back in a different Google Hangout to talk NFL and look forward to and predict the AFC and NFC Championship game. So enjoy your weekend. Royal Rumble is here, and maybe the best time of the year as a WWE fan, the road to WrestleMania. So as always, take care.